Now, Downing Street has today claimed that a public affairs firm has been able to exert undue influence over senior ministers. They've rejected those claims after lobbyists were secretly filmed boasting about their access to David Cameron and William Hague. Executives from Bell Pottinger were also taped speaking openly about their work for regimes with questionable human rights records and describing the dark arts they used to bury bad news. This is the lobbyist Tim Collins bowing his head in prayer at a school assembly with the former Tory leader Michael Howard. Almost a decade later, he might be praying for deliverance once again after being secretly recorded boasting about the influence he has with top Conservatives.
I've been working with people like Steve Bilton and David Cameron and George Osborne for 20 years plus. I mean, I know all these people. There is not a problem about getting the messages through to them.
In the tape, obtained by an undercover reporter from the Bureau of Investigative Journalism, he brags about what he calls the dark arts his lobbying firm Bell Pottinger uses to secure positive internet coverage for clients. He also had this to say about the influence he exercised over the Prime Minister on behalf of the Hoover manufacturer Dyson.
They rang up and they said, look, we've got a huge issue, and that is that a lot of our products are being completely ripped off in China. And I'm pleased to say that on the Saturday, David Cameron raised it with the Chinese Prime Minister.
Downing Street insisted Bell Pottinger did not enjoy undue access. But the Prime Minister is under pressure from Labour, which says the recordings prove the government is too close to the corporate world and that David Cameron has failed to deliver on a promise he made before the election to clean up lobbying.
I believe it's time we shone the light of transparency onto lobbying in our country and forced our politics to come clean about who is buying power and influence. It's the next big scandal waiting to happen.
Bell Pottinger has represented the Sri Lankan government, a government which we reported last year was investigated by the UN over alleged war crimes. Tim Collins told the undercover reporter, who was posing as a potential client, that when it came to dealing with Channel 4, attack was perhaps the best form of defence.
There's a lot of people in Parliament who can't stand Channel 4 and can't stand dispatches. So actually, you know, if there are any inaccuracies, even if they're fairly minor, you can actually work with some people who have got a track record of not liking Channel 4, wanting to score points against Channel 4, and say here is another instance of Channel 4 overreaching themselves, putting out stuff they hadn't properly checked, etc., etc.
Lord Bell, chairman of Bell Pottinger's parent company Chime Communications, said today there was no public interest in this story and no suggestion of any impropriety. He described the reporter's methods as underhand deception to manufacture a story. Downing Street is once again promising a register of approved lobbyists. A consultation paper on that was due last month. Now it won't appear until after Christmas. But when it does, campaigners want it to include who's lobbied who, about what, and how much was spent.